The night was unusually still, the kind of silence that seemed heavier than darkness itself. The streets of the small town were mostly empty, lit only by the faint glow of streetlights that cast long shadows over cracked sidewalks. In a black SUV parked near a convenience store, Colonel Victoria Hayes, dressed in casual clothes but with an unmistakable aura of authority, checked her phone one last time before heading home. She was exhausted, having just returned from a long day at an FBI task force meeting. Little did she know, the night ahead would test not only her patience, but the very perception of power and justice in ways she had never experienced before. Victoria's car engine hummed softly as she pulled out into the quiet streets. Moments later, a squad car appeared behind her, its red and blue lights flashing aggressively in her rearview mirror. She slowed down, a habitual response, but the officer's tone over the loudspeaker was sharp, almost accusatory. "Pull over now," he demanded. The words were simple, but the tension behind them was palpable. Victoria complied, easing the SUV to the side, her mind already running through the possible scenarios. She had dealt with dangerous criminals and high-stakes negotiations, but this felt different, more personal. The officer who approached was Officer Daniels, known in the local department for his arrogance and overconfidence. Victoria could sense it immediately as he swaggered toward her window. His eyes scanned her with a mixture of suspicion and disdain, and she could almost hear the judgment in the air before he even spoke. "License and registration?" he barked, his voice dripping with impatience. Victoria handed over her documents with steady hands, her demeanor composed but alert. She knew this interaction could escalate quickly if not handled with precision. If you want more stories where justice prevails and authority is revealed, hit that subscribe button now and join Beyond the Gavel. You don't want to miss a single story. As the minutes dragged on, Officer Daniels' frustration grew. He muttered under his breath, glancing around the SUV, as if he expected to find something nefarious. The tension thickened, drawing the attention of a few pedestrians who had stopped to watch. Victoria maintained steady eye contact, her calm, a silent counter to his aggression. This man had no idea who he was dealing with, and for now, that ignorance was a weapon she held subtly but deliberately. Then came the question that would ignite the confrontation. "Where are you coming from tonight?" Daniels asked, his tone increasingly sharp. Doria answered politely, her voice calm yet firm. "Just coming from work," she said. "A long day at the office?" There was no need to elaborate. She had learned long ago that revealing too much often invites unnecessary scrutiny. Daniel scoffed, taking a step closer. "You don't seem like the type to be driving around here alone," he remarked, his words dripping with condescension. "What would you do if you were in Victoria's shoes? How would you handle a situation like this?" Victoria's calm smile barely hinted at the storm brewing behind her composed exterior. This wasn't her first time facing down someone who underestimated her. She'd spent years climbing the ranks of the FBI, a world dominated by tough men and even tougher criminals. She remembered a tense standoff in Chicago, surrounded by a cartel's enforcers, where her calm, strategic thinking disarmed the situation without a single shot fired. Her colleagues called her the Ghost because she could move through chaos and bring order with quiet, its unshakable resolve. The situation escalated rapidly when Daniels claimed he smelled alcohol in the car. A classic pretext used in these small-town stops. Victoria, knowing the law and her rights intimately, offered to comply with any reasonable tests. Yet Daniels' attitude was dismissive, bordering on hostile. "Step out of the vehicle," he ordered. Victoria did so, her movements deliberate and controlled, showing no sign of fear. The officer's actions, however, revealed a dangerous underestimation. He had no idea that the woman standing before him was not only a high-ranking FBI colonel, but a person whose authority extended far beyond his small-town jurisdiction. While he fumbled with his paperwork and muttered to himself, Victoria observed quietly, letting him feel the weight of the situation from the perspective of someone in authority. "Is there a problem here?" she asked, her tone neutral but edged with the calm command of someone used to handling high-stakes scenarios. Daniels, sensing the shift in power, but oblivious to the truth, replied with forced bravado, trying to reassert control. Victoria simply remained composed, letting the silence speak volumes. Within moments, what should have been a routine traffic stop had transformed into a public spectacle. Bystanders began to gather, sensing that something unusual was unfolding. Victoria, still calm and collected, maintained her composure. She knew that revealing her identity prematurely could create chaos, but withholding it entirely would allow justice to naturally unfold. She knew the power of patience and observation, tools she had honed over years of law enforcement service. By now it was clear even to Daniels that he had underestimated her. His orders were repeated, his commands louder, but Victoria's responses remained measured, polite, yet unyielding. She offered no resistance, yet every movement she made subtly reinforced the fact that she was not an ordinary citizen. A small crowd had gathered, intrigued by the escalating tension. Whispers rippled through them, the kind that hints at the extraordinary about to unfold. It wasn't until Victoria decided the moment was right that she played her final card. Calmly, she reached into her jacket and produced her FBI credentials, holding them out not with aggression, but with a quiet authority that silenced the murmurs around them. "Officer Daniels," she said, her voice firm but even, "I believe you are aware now of who you are dealing with." The reaction was immediate. Shock, disbelief, and the dawning realization that his arrogance had led him to confront someone far, far beyond his authority. The following moments were tense, almost cinematic. Daniel's face turned pale, his prior aggression evaporating into an uncomfortable mixture of embarrassment and awe. The situation, which had started as a routine stop, now served as a dramatic lesson in authority, respect, and the importance of understanding the full picture before acting. Victoria's calm professionalism ensured that the interaction remained controlled, avoiding unnecessary escalation while asserting her undeniable authority. Of course, the story didn't end there. The next morning, Victoria filed a formal report detailing the incident. The dashcam footage told the whole story, leaving no room for excuses. Officer Daniels was placed on administrative leave pending a full internal review. The news rippled through the local department, a stark reminder that true authority isn't about the badge you wear, but the integrity with which you wear it. The town buzzed with the story of the quiet woman in the SUV who had single-handedly humbled the department's most arrogant officer. By the end of the encounter, Daniels had been humbled, a lesson learned the hard way. Victoria, on the other hand, returned to her SUV, her demeanor unchanged, but the impact of the confrontation leaving a lasting impression on everyone present. She finally drove away into the quiet night. The scene served as a testament to hidden authority, patience, and the power of remaining composed under pressure. It was a powerful resolution, emphasizing that intelligence and composure are the true forms of power. If you were shocked by this story, leave a comment below, sharing your thoughts. And don't forget to share this video with friends and family who need to see justice in action. Subscribe to Beyond the Gavel for more incredible true courtroom stories where authority is revealed and justice always prevails. Thanks for watching.